really just for an introduction and tell you a little bit about ourselves. Should I go first? Okay. So I've coached at 4 universities: Drew, University of Louisville, University of Michigan. I'm currently at University of Pennsylvania. Been involved with the game for over 21 years. Most people know me as the woman who played men's professional. 2003, I was the first to sign a men's professional contract, and I was on the men's U.S. team in 2011. So in box lacrosse, so that's what I'm known for. I started very late, learned the game very late, and teaching a little bit of a different way. I know most of you were recruited by Gabby. I took over management of the team about a month ago, and did I miss anything? I'm so excited. Listen, it happens.
I think that's
It happens, you know? So that's it. And this is Brandy Rich. We just hired her as assistant director. You're going to see her more, well, every day. In about 2 weeks, she's just finishing up another contract, but she is essentially an extension of me. So,
Yes.
if you'd like to introduce yourself.
So I'm, like Ginny said, I've been here for about a month now. I'm the assistant director of lacrosse, director of field hockey. Prior to here, I coached field hockey at Montclair State. I've coached lacrosse and field hockey at Stevens Tech and Hoboken. Lacrosse and field hockey at New England College up in New Hampshire, where I went to school up there. I played field hockey, lacrosse, a little bit of soccer. And yeah, I've also coached field hockey and lacrosse at Robbinsville High School, right down the road. So that's it.
Coach Anna.
So I started playing when I was younger. I started in high school. I went right up here at Notre Dame. I played under Brian Fisher. He started there my senior year. I then moved on to playing college at Alvernia University. But then under certain circumstances, I had to stop playing. I had too many concussions, so I left there my sophomore year. I had to stop in the middle of football. I left, came home to Mercer County College for a semester and didn't like it, so I went back away to school. I went to Rowan then in 2015, stayed there, graduated last year in 2018, and while I was at Rowan, I didn't want to be involved in the game still. I hated not being able to play, so I wanted to get myself involved still. So I reached out to their coach. I ended up becoming like manager, office work type thing. I went to practice every day. I did stuff in practice with them. I went to the games, all home games, and I did office work inside with the coach as well. So, and now I'm here.
Okay, well, so a little bit about where we're going. Did any of you compete with the team last year? Yes. In the fall.
Yeah, there were
Yeah,
small
this is the
tournaments,
first-
nothing was full
This is the
field.
first. They keep telling me that this was the first year, but I didn't know if there was a training team last year. So everyone started in the fall, correct? Okay. So just a little bit of the feedback that we've been giving your daughters. This is the 25-26 team. This is 5th and 6th grade. Okay. When I got the team, this group, did you have it correct?
No, it's 6th
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it took us all a while to get used to the nomenclature.
Yeah, we had a chart. I don't know where it went. Okay. So when I took over this team, it had 9 people, 10 people. We also had a pre-CLC. I'm sorry for that. I forgot this is okay. This is the team that was supposed to compete for the year. There was less than 12. That's how much we need on the field. We recruited some incoming 5th graders. We also recruited independently. Now we're currently at 19. So it's our first year. We're doing the same model as up north. Our hope is to separate these 2 years for next year, and then this year will be essentially our full year. That's going to be the first to graduate. So that's what's happening. trying to answer like the questions that I received via email, just as far as like perspective. So next year, we're hoping to have a 2027 team that competes. If not, we'll know this in the next month. It will be, 2028, a training team. CLC or Center Court has approximately 4 tournaments that we run in-house, so we always have the ability to enter a 3rd, 4th grade team in one of our tournaments, so we don't have to travel for that. So they're probably going to play, whether they're going to be separated or not, we don't know yet. 6th grade is going to become 7th grade. That may be a mixed team, I don't know. We went from having 9, having 10, and having 11, to having 19. We have a little bit less here, and now I'm getting emails from independent people, from other clubs looking to jump over. So I don't know what the tryout's going to look like. If you don't have the information for the tryouts, it's the 3rd week in July. There's something called a CLC ID camp prior to that. The CLC ID camp is 3 days, and then it ends with the tryout. This is simply to identify people who are outside of the program. We're going to take a look at them, and then the tryout is for the actual teams. There's been questions whether current club members should attend the tryout. The answer is yes, they should. I'm going to ask for a discounted price from headquarters, but we want you at the tryout because we want you to compete against the new people coming in. If this particular date, you guys take it running for the hills after the season is ending for the beach, there will be a supplemental date. We haven't decided whether that's the end of August or immediately after Labor Day.
Just to jump off of that, the reason why you should come to the tryouts as well is even if the kids are getting extra touches. They may already be in the club, but going to the tryout gives them the extra touches. It exposes them to other players to just help them develop.
Yes. Does anyone have any questions that are not? Does anyone have any questions? No?
So, if I know I'm already on vacation that week,
Then you just let me know.
I just let you know.
Because you're a club member, you can go to a supplemental tryout, or we can have something, not for money, we can potentially put your daughter through more of a functional tryout. So she can come here and have it because you're already in the club, right? And what's the purpose of that? Well, I'm not coaching the team. I coached the high school team for 1 weekend. Coach Devan was taking over it, so it gives me an opportunity to put her through things. So it's less for the money and more for, a functional assessment. But because she's already on the team, I'm not encouraging everyone to go to the beach that particular week, but we will, of course, there's going to be a couple qualities of this program, one being purpose, 2 being loyalty that we want to continue, 3 being quality. I would rather not run a club, which I told them when I took it over, than it be not quality. So I only have managed a couple things business-wise when I took over in September. It has to be high quality because everything in the game is your name. So we're going to keep high quality or we're not going to run the club. There's other things we can do. So I hope that answers. So yes, if you're at the beach, we'll work it out.
Okay.
But we would like to have a face-to-face assessment. Any other questions? Yes?
So when girls try out, and as many girls make it, as whatever, will the people that do make it know if there is actually a full roster this time? Because that was one of the things.
It has to be.
Well, it
So
was
great
the last
question.
time, and
So,
we paid
great
our money,
question.
and they didn't have a full roster.
Great question. Well, 100%. So let's suppose we attempt to do 1 year, okay? And we don't have we have 19 people on the high school team. I coached 4 games this weekend, 19 people on the roster, 12 people on the field. That means 7 subs. We had 2 subs. That's not the way the game is going. The game, when they graduate from high school, has a shot clock. The international game has now dropped a couple of people less on the field and shortened the field. The game has gotten very fast. If you can't sub, you're not being taught it appropriately to move on. So, different from the older, oh, well, if you have 20 people, my kid won't play, that's not going to be an issue moving forward in this game. So, if we don't have 20 people on the roster for 1 year, I would rather it be 2 years. Okay? That's number one. Number two, if we have 10 people, like we did, okay, in the beginning, because we had this problem with 7th and 8th grade, and it was suggested and not mended because I wasn't doing the club, I was in full season with Penn. If there's 10 people on this team, we will communicate that to the parents. We will do a collaborative effort with the North, which you'll have the option to do or not, because they're fully loaded up there. And you will know that it's going to be, it would probably not be that with the North. It would probably be that. So we'd be north, south, or just CLC if we were running 1 year, okay? You will have the information, because, you know, I don't.
Yeah, when we're taking this over now and we're trying to go into the direction where we are transparent. You're going to know, you're going to get all the information. That's what the reason for the group meeting, the emails, all those things. These are your kids, you know, we want to give them the opportunity, and, you know, we want this to be a quality program.
We're going to be completely transparent, because if someone doesn't want to be involved, that's okay. It's a large price point. I've told a couple people, I mean, I'm 18 months away from my brothers. If all three of us did a club program, we wouldn't be able to afford it. I mean, it's just really expensive. That leads me to my next point. So up north is a reflective, or a similar price point to the club business has gotten out of control. I know that that's making a laugh here, but I'm just going to be completely honest, okay?
We
club
agree with
business
you,
has gotten
so.
completely out of control, okay? If you do everything, it's like $11,000 per kid. And, you know, it's a blessing if you can do that, but if you can't, I mean, you know, so it's gotten completely out of control. So up north, I think it's like $3,700, and it's full year, and they offer all these different things, but it's so expensive, okay? So I saw the model that you guys did down here, and that's fine, but Brandy coached, she's coming out of Garden State Elite. They just do the summer, which a lot of people do, okay? And then people started doing the fall. It gets complicated once you graduate into high school, because now you're in a recruiting atmosphere. So it's different if you're 8th grade, going into 8th grade, or going into a freshman, just so you know. Even the business of tournaments is very different, okay? You can't register, which is my next meeting, into a fall tournament for a recruiting year now. It's closed, okay? So we can do it for the younger kids. What we're looking to do, we run an MLK tournament up north. This is our tournament. We run the Fall Classic here. We run a Deuces Wild here. Obviously, this being our tournament, the price point is significantly lower. We're looking to have a similar summer, okay? We're looking to have practices and go into our Fall Classic this fall. What we do here is going to be limited. So really what you're looking at is fall, summer. We do this for a couple of reasons. Number one, cost. We want to increase quality and increase the quality of coaches that we're bringing in. That's money. We don't want to just go for the sake of going. When I'm soliciting coaches and big-time, better coaches, they don't want to do this. Do you understand? They want to do fall, and they want to do summer, and they want to run it like a mini team of theirs. So this doesn't work for them. Until you get higher up, and then it's a higher price point, and we're paying them a lot more money. We want to run practices here, we want to run practices here. We may have a practice, or we may just go to the tournament. This is a box tournament. We don't have a box
practices 6, 10, potentially 2 or 8 here. That's it. So it's going to be less practices, so we can keep the price point very similar to what it is. You know, maybe some other changes, but that's what we're looking at for the schedule for the entire middle school. Potentially do 4 to 6. We're not doing anything on the weekends in the winter at all. We can't do that here. If we run during the week in the fall, we run the risk of competition with another sport. If we run it on a Sunday, it's your only day, so there's a competition there. So we may send out I may ask some parents your opinion, weekday or Sunday, but we're doing the best that we can. It'll only be 4 to 6 dates though. It's not going to be the entire fall. And that's our perspective for next year. Want to go? Good luck. Have a good practice.
Thank you.
Okay. They should be all warmed up. Emily had them. Any questions? Yes. Cost this year was $19.75 for a lot more stuff, but again, being completely transparent. Gabby didn't equate for any coaching costs because she intended of coaching every single team. So maybe it will stay the same, but there has to be a purpose with it. So
If you're trying to
the
compete,
answer, not to do a dance, the answer has to come to my boss in 2.5 weeks. So I'm going to give that to you. Like we're doing that now, 100%. You'll have that before the trials. You're not going to try out for something. You're going to be like, bam, what you go. It's only a bit car place. So, any other questions? Yes.
The additional things that we.
Yes, great additional. There will be training, our training programs in the winter, parts of the spring. There's going to be a little bit of a higher level. So there's developmental, especially for your age group, and then there's higher level. The higher level programs will be at a different price point for our club members, similar to our club. You'll have the availability to train, but we're not going to encompass it in the price point for the entire club because some people may not be able to do it because of date, may not be able to do it because of cost, maybe not be able to do it because they didn't foresee that they were going to have a concussion in November.
There was additional things though, with regards to like training and one-on-one sessions.
Yeah, the one-on-one sessions, that will, just so we get it out of there, will never be offered again for free. That is outrageous. It's $140 to do a one-on-one session with one of our coaches, not even one of us. For her to offer 3 to 5 or something, it's just impossible. The model and what she offered was impossible. I think it was an attempt to get it off the ground. I would like this to be reputable. I've been in the club business prior to college. I know where the game is going. It's based upon the best opportunity for your daughters moving forward. Pricing things, giving things away, allowing for things to just run incessantly, it's not quality. So, and I can't recruit quality people that way, neither player nor coach.
Well, I don't know if anybody took advantage of it, to tell you the truth. It
Every
wasn't
time it's on the
easy.
table, we never got one.
There is, again, getting all the information today.
Yeah.
We hear you.
The place across the hallway is called the DAP. The DAP has a very strong connection with the ownership group of our entire corporation. There was a marriage between a DAP. We're the only location where there's a marriage between a DAP. We don't have sports performance trainers. That marriage is now dissolved. Moving forward, we will have a sports performance element that will be within our training that is outside of that because that was very dysfunctional. And you will have the opportunity to pay for that or not. So, I think it's good for functionality. I think it's good kids going through puberty, when you shoot up and stuff like that, you lose a little bit of fine motor function. You know, certainly when you get to 8th grade and going into the approval year, it's a necessity, just tell me. Because everyone is doing that, and so unless you have a tremendous amount of knowledge, and but making it cost effective is our job. So we have a couple people we're interviewing now, and we're going to work with the other sports within the facility to bring them in as packages. Maybe you can do 3 to 4 sessions prior to your season. Start out like that. Maybe you like the trainer, maybe you don't. As opposed to sign on the line, this is for everything, and then the expectations are on that. That's not the way. And before that's the last question, let me truly apologize for the uniform conspiracy. I've been hearing of that for a very long time. We're still trying to fix the last couple articles of clothing. That seems to be a big deal. So, yes.
What is right now the plan for this team going into the tournament this weekend, going into practices and
Right. So
right now?
we talked a lot about purpose. We have what I spoke to the high school, because the high school people, it's a lot more. It was much more difficult with the high school. The younger kids can only run so fast. So we have.
Well, I'll actually say that my kid's a younger kid.
Okay.
So.
So what's the
Sorry for
purpose?
listening.
The purpose is that this is our first year. We're going to take our knocks. That we're going to establish a way of running this program. We have approximately 5 people of age in the high school, many more a year below, and then 3 or 4 people who are younger than the years that were assigned. Because of the way the tournaments are set up, this is the bracket that you have to play. Okay, so we are tremendously out-aged, so to speak. Okay, what we are talking to the players about, everyone from here down. There are many great athletes that have played up, and this is a tremendous acceleration. You don't have this option of development. So everyone who is not 2025 is going to improve at an accelerated rate. This unfortunate group, especially in the high school, they are getting experience carrying the team, and they are in more leadership positions, more so than their high school team, so that is how they are improving. This is the purpose of our team. So we're establishing the foundation that's going to carry us to next year, and I can assure that everyone with this program, because of the parameters and environment that they have to play in, is going to be much better. I'm sure people want to play up in the future, but it's just not going to be the case. I've had multiple people play up for just extenuating circumstances that made it a big difference in their career. So everyone's going to improve, but we're gonna have to take some knocks. So that's the plan. I'm heavily overseeing the coaches, seeing what they're doing. Everyone has a practice plan to the minute, exactly what they're supposed to coach, plays, everything, so that anyone can do it. We had 2 practices prior to the game. Defenses and offenses weren't part of it because we had to assess players. We'll get better next weekend. We hope for a good performance in July.
I think just from my perspective, and I didn't play girls.
Sure.
My husband did. It was hard to watch this weekend. Just there wasn't a lot of subbing, and it was just a different game than I've seen.
Sure.
And again, he runs a different program, Council Rock, all that stuff. So it was just hard to take that in, it being so different, and it was hard.
Sure. Yeah. So my answer to that is, I am a coach who runs lines in such a tremendous amount. I think that you should do that, but there is something to be said with younger people that they kind of have to get in there for a little bit, you can't just pull them, you know what I'm saying? So as the fluency of the team increases, that can increase. We certainly want everyone to play a lot. If it becomes an issue, I'd like you to speak to me about it because we want the coaches to be focused on coaching. Anna did mention to me different things with the subbing. We're going to revisit that, but I just wanted her to have a breath after the weekend.
Oh, right.
And we can talk about like, what that looks like. Like if I sub a 5th grader in the same timing as a high school, but that would be disoriented. So I just want to see what her scheme is and what her plan is. And as the team is a little bit more cohesive, it's going to be easier to do that, you know. But I appreciate that.
First tournament is always rough. The kids don't know each other. It's the first time playing together, and it's the first time the coach has them and is seeing them in that element. Just from speaking from personal experience. As it progresses, it will get better. And like I said, if there is an issue with something, speak to us, and we can definitely address it.
Yeah. So, yes.
Do you have a policy for injuries while you're here practicing? I know it seems like a crazy question, but
Do we have a policy that,
your kid gets hit in the head with a ball.
okay, if someone gets hit in the head with a ball and they're potentially concussed, they cannot play. So, because we don't have a trainer, if someone is potentially concussed, you're going to be called. Did that happen? Because even with, I don't know if it's New Jersey state law, like if you're subbed out, you can't be cleared until a trainer clears you. There's no trainer here. So us saying that she could play is a liability. Did that happen? Was there another injury?
When you were here for practice, my daughter got hit in the head and they told her, go find an ice pack, and they sent her out here.
I didn't hear anything about that. I was told, I got an ice pack last week and I was told that she got hit there was a knee thing. If it was a head,
There's
it
no
was
body
something.
This is not recent, this is
Okay,
previous program. I just want to make sure, because I asked them,
no,
what is your policy for head injuries? And they had none.
no.
So I'm assuming that you would.
They should always, just in regularity, there's always the assumption that there is a concussion. They should sit out, they should be tested of some sort. Since there isn't a trainer, it would be up to the parent or the child, depending on how they feel, or the coach. I mean, you could definitely see if the kid is out of it, especially being in sports, and then we would tell you this is what happened. We advise you to see a doctor, urgent care, something like that. If it's an emergency, obviously, we're taking the kid to ER.
Yeah. If your child gets injured, you know, they will sit out. If it's significant enough, you'll be called prior to the practice ending. And if it's more severe than that, we will call 911. That's our policy. But I don't screw around with concussions, and neither will the coaches. I would have played for 2 or 3 more years if there was 4 concussions. So we're definitely not going to play with that. Yeah. Sorry that happened here. You should know better what that was. So, also, read that discussion, at any age. Kids don't like to wear mouth guards. They have to wear the mouth guards. And the mouth guards have to cover all the way to the back molars because that's essentially one of the reasons why they're getting a concussion. They could also have what's called, just so you know, for people who aren't familiar with concussions, you can, if you get hit hard enough in the head, you can have concussive effects for a period of time, years, and you actually don't have a concussion, which is a brain bruise. The crystals in your ears are off, and unless you go to the university, what's that place in Pittsburgh? There's a machine to have them, but you'll feel like you're concussed for years. So there's so many different parts, more so than a helmet and goggles and everything else. They need a mouth guard that comes all the way to the back. Whether they want to wear it or not, they can't chew on it. Once the back is gone, we throw it out. And if they're concussed, they have to be a week effects free before being released back. If they don't, their next concussion will be at a much worse. I mean, this is certainly not with this age population. It should never be a problem. But mouth guards, I know they don't like to wear them. If you go to the dentist, should be able to talk them down to have a sub $100, a mouth guard made for them that they can speak well and is not annoying, but they just mold it to the teeth.
There are some outside companies that,
What's the other thing that you do? You send it away and they cover your teeth.
that's what I'm saying,
20
they'll
grand.
send you a mold.
Yeah, they
and
send you a
It's
mold.
actually cheaper than the dentist, but it works well. We've done it at Montclair. The kids sit there and you mold it yourself, and they send you a customized mouth.
They insure your mouth 20 grand or something like that, so
Yeah.
you send them back the mouth guard, and like there was an injury, they, you know, it's
Yeah.
almost a supplemental insurance.
Can you send that information out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so.
I'm sure.
There's another, yes,
What are your thoughts on helmets? One of the teams who played, more than half the girls were wearing helmets.
I have a lot of thoughts on helmets that are unpopular, because I play men's lacrosse, so I'm on the other side of the fence that says everyone should wear a helmet. So, which side of the fence?
I just.
She backs it off.
Yeah. I think it's up to the parent, you
Yeah.
know? Some states require the whole team. I think Florida.
Yeah,
New York,
Florida is.
sorry.
Yeah, so
If
right
you'd like to
now-
wear it, you're welcome to wear it.
Yeah.
Right now, it's in its racket phase, where there's only like one company
Right,
that
there's
sells
one,
it.
right? Cascade and that's
you
it.
know, and then, so, but, I think it's good if your child, you feel, is a bull in a china closet who falls a lot, like I did, and just falls on, you know,
Oh,
then maybe you may consider it. You know, if they're very aggressive and they have susceptibility to contact, you know, that there's no way that the child is ever being embraced, maybe you consider a helmet. But, I mean, if defensively, I think moving 7th and 8th grade because of the mesh pockets and stuff like that, defensively it becomes a danger, to be quite frank. People are shooting with less control and less, you know, responsibility or accountability. So if she's playing defense, you know, I would be, but certainly, yeah, the mouth guard. So, good question. It's not gonna hurt, right? It's not gonna hurt. Any other questions?
So moving forward,
Yes.
will you be grouping, because often the parents, at least the referees are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So is the intent to group 26, 27 together in the?
So we're going to try, great question, we're gonna try out everyone in independent years, and then depending upon the tryout and the commitment, we would group them, letting you know exactly before depositing how many people are on the team. What we would do, if we did group them, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th. So, correct. With the exception of 2021, who cannot be grouped with anyone. They're graduating, so they have to be a rising senior team by themselves, which we may have, because we have some other people. So, any other questions?
next summer, will you pick like the same tournaments that are?
We'll probably pick similar tournaments. The problem with club at the middle school level is once you start, you're not going to stop, right? You know, like if she continues to play. So doing the more local tournaments and drive-through tournaments allows you to save on costs. I mean, as they go up, people want to go to Colorado, and I mean, it's just outrageous, right? Like, just to get there and back to 2 of the tournaments could be the price of registration in line, right? So we will look to do more local tournaments. I didn't fight with the head lady about the waivers, so we'll be invited back. Despite what anyone saw. We made out, we hugged. So we'll be invited back to the tournaments. If there's a tournament that that is local, or that, you know, people, I mean, I accept feedback. If we say we want to go to tournament A, and everyone's like, you know, we really want to go into tournament B, and B isn't sold out, you know? If there's a problem with B, we'll tell you what the problem is. Well, I'm not the person who'll be like, oh, I don't know. I'll tell you exactly what the issue is. So
it's expensive, it bumps up the cost, it's this
I'll
and
say it,
that.
I think the one we were just at was heavy Towson, Maryland club, mainline club teams, and for our team to come in, just being put together
Sure.
with 2 practices, we
Yeah.
were, you know, they're kids, they'll
Yeah.
get over it, but that was a heavy, and these teams coming up, that FCA team from
Sure.
Maryland, it was ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
these kids never dropped the ball.
Yeah.
There are other tournaments that Kelly's played in with like Arrowhead, like just whatever, like SummerSlam in Tabernacle, New Jersey.
Yep.
Much more low key, not as heavy club,
Mhm.
more like Cobra Kai people and all that kind of thing. I don't remember all their names, but that was
Over
some.
guys,
I felt like the roundup was heavy duty, top notch. I mean, there was not anyone not in 6th grade playing on those 2025
Sure.
teams. Not even.
Yeah.
And even those kids looked like they were in high school to me.
Yeah.
So I just know that there are a few clubs, a few tournaments coming up that aren't as heavily that
Great,
strong.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We certainly want to take our knocks as a rookie, but not continue we expect to be
Exactly.
better next year, but maybe
Right.
2 B tournaments and 1 A tournament certainly.
Yeah, and I did look at the lineup for this weekend, and the first
I
team.
saw the first, yeah, I saw the first, I saw it.
I think that's at the beach is a little bit more low key. That one's
Yeah.
always fun. Though it got mostly rained out last year, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Dance down
So
the beach.
that's-
Just down the beach.
The beach is,
Egypt?
Off the beach.
yeah, in Long Branch.
It's in Long Branch, off the beach. Yeah, it's in Long Branch.
Yeah, agreed. It's uncomfortable for us as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
We
sure.
want them to grow, we want them to be challenged, we don't want them to be discouraged.
Right. We want
We
them to
do
run
think that
sport,
they
so-
are getting better with the mixture of ages,
Mhm.
but certainly moving forward, we want to continue to improve so that they're going to the winning column. So, yes. So, other questions? Okay, can you wanna just touch on that, Genie or?
Sign up, Jamie?
Yeah, just so they
Yeah.
understand when they get it, what it
Yeah,
means.
so-
Which you don't have to be involved in, but Brandy found this thing, I thought it was really nice, so.
I'm constructing an email for this weekend's tournament, just like with the schedule, other things you may need to know. There is going to be a link in there. It's for the Sign Up Genius. Just you can click the link and it just divides up. We call them tent donations. So if you want to bring fruit or a cooler of water or something like that, or even a tent or a table, you can click the link, you can sign up, and then so we know who's bringing what, and there's no mixture between parents or things like that.
It's not gonna lie, you guys.
Thank you
Thank you.
for this weekend, really appreciate that. So, but, similar, not looking for anyone to purchase anything, but if you were bringing things, and not everyone brought,
And it's definitely cheaper than vending.
yeah,
Just
so,
FYI.
just something, kids seem to be getting along well, so they like that. Because the experience allows them to, want to stay in it, stay committed, and then they learn. If they don't want to do it, they're going to be soon not playing with us, so.
And that makes it easier for them to take those big kids like this weekend.
Yeah.
They're like laughing as we're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
we're all like, oh.
Say the same
Like,
thing
we
with
all-
high school. Yep.
Yeah, just from personal experience, I've been in a club that it's the same thing. You're losing every game, the kids are having fun, and like you as a coach or a parent screaming at the kid, it's about them. If they're enjoying it, they're coming back the next year, they're still growing, developing as players, and they're making friendships. So if they go off to play in college, or it's just teaching them social skills, leadership skills, things like that, they're getting something out of it.
Yeah. Also, if they are enjoying it, they're going to work and train when you're not paying for it. And let's not discount. Sometimes you have to see the skill that you want to be prior to, So now they see. Oh, they don't see that as an older kid thing. They see kids their age being able to catch with both hands with that proficiency. Maybe I should be able to do that. So let's just
But I do appreciate